And I got to tell you, it's about time. The Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Justice Department have been sitting on their hands since at least July, when the DOJ announced it was looking into Fulton County Jail. That jail in Fulton County is a cesspool of constitutional violations with inhumane conditions. It's so bad. One inmate was found dead in his cell with insect infestation all over his body. Now, Department of Justice could have shut it down in July, this jail. Actually, they could have shut it down much earlier and just transferred all the prisoners to other facilities until it finishes its investigation. Since July 1st, there have been 2 more deaths of detainees. I don't know what Attorney General Merrick Garland is waiting for. In the meantime, and this is also long overdue, the Georgia Republican senators announcing that they are looking into the Fulton County Jail. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, tomorrow Georgia Senate leaders are set to, quote, launch an investigation into the chronic overcrowding and dangerous conditions at the Fulton County Jail, the troubled Atlanta facility where 10 inmates have died so far this year. The announcement follows Fulton County DA Fani Willis's Georgia indictment. All 19 co-defendants in that indictment, including former President Donald Trump, were booked at that Fulton County Jail. And one defendant, Harrison Floyd, was stuck in Fulton County Jail for 6 days while the judge sat on vacation. He could have called in and done a remote bail hearing, or he could have asked another judge to determine a bail amount so that the defendant didn't have to sit in that horrible place for 6 unnecessary days, but he chose not to. Criminal Defense Attorney Jeff Brown joins me. Jeff, we've got the Department of Justice doing an investigation. I don't know what's taking so long. The rest of the country knows that it's a cesspool and constitutional violations. And now the Republican senators in Georgia, they're involved in it. What's taking everybody so long?
Well, I don't think they really care, to be honest with you, until there's negative media on this. Once there's some negative media, I think that kind of lights a fire. But I don't really think that the federal government cares about the facilities that they house defendants in. I think that's always been the outlook. They move them around like cattle. There's been a lot of facilities I've been in that I would, they don't reach the level of Fulton County, but they're certainly not great prisons and jails. They hire out a lot of these facilities and pay private jails to house their inmates.
Well, the thing I think that's important to point out to viewers is that the people detained in a jail, for the most part, unless you're sitting there for a drunk driving for like a month or something, they are all presumed innocent. They haven't had trials at all. They just couldn't make bail for whatever reason. But I'll tell you what else bothers me about this. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporting about these Republican senators now calling for investigation, they linked the new probe as part of an ongoing attacks on DA Fani Willis. Instead of worried about the constitutional violations in the jail, and instead of using their powerful megaphone to report about these constitutional violations, they take a swipe at the Republican senators, which I am going to take a swipe on. They're late as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's got nothing to do with politics. It has to do with whether you really care about the people that are presumed innocent but can't make bail and have to be housed in a federal facility. That's all it is, and they really don't care. I mean, I've just been in this business for 30 years, and I'm sorry, but I see the way that they treat innocent until proven guilty. I see the way they treat them, and they really just don't care. They never have. And this is a perfect example. Until this indictment, nobody cared about Fulton County Jail, and yet 10 inmates had died. Why is that? Now that it's getting the limelight, now of course it's popular for them to come in and do something. They didn't care a year ago, 2 years ago.
Well, I have to give credit to the New York Times. They at least had a story much before the indictment. They did that. But Merrick Garland, Attorney General, could shut this down tonight and move the people to another facility if he wanted to. Jeff Brown, thank you.